detoxification used to be a fad. Supplementing used to be a fad. Both of those are now essential because of our environment, our food supply, processed foods, all of these things. So why are we needing to supplement with butyrate?
Mostly because of the ways in which we are living our lives. Our environment has changed significantly. And, I don't think I'm saying anything no one on this podcast has ever thought about, but like there's a lot of toxins now. Our food supply has changed. Before the food supply even changed, though, in general, the Western populations eat less starches, we eat less vegetables, and we eat less fruits. And the food that feeds the butyrate producers are made up predominantly of your fruits, your vegetables, and your starches. That's what you need to be eating to feed the cross feeders who then feed the butyrate producers. And so, in general, as we've gone from the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s through the production and westernization of our environments and our lives, we now just eat things that are typically processed. But even if we're on a non-processed diet, let's say we're on a paleo diet, even then it's hard to find people that, and I'm just as guilty as any, who are constantly eating, potatoes and sweet potatoes or starch every day, and constantly eating a bunch of different types of vegetables, not just one type, not just your favorite like broccoli or something, but like a lot, and then constantly eating more than just blueberries. That's like what I do. I'm like, just keep getting the blueberries instead of, actually eating a diverse range. And so, in order to have proper butyrate production, you need to consume the types of food that can turn into butyrate. You have to break that food down properly, which again, it's a struggle in our stressed out, you know, hyper vigilant bodies we have these days. And then lastly, you have to have the microbiome species there to do the job. And again, it's not like you eat grapes or blueberries or something and they just immediately turn into butyrate. There's a hippie community down there, like just like in a hippie community, like a well-formed, like idyllic one. Somebody's doing music, someone's watching the kids, someone's cooking the food, someone's doing the taxes and the finances. The same thing's happening inside your microbiome. The initial bugs are going to turn those polyphenols and those starch things into other molecules, and then they're going to pass it off to the next group of bugs. And then those bugs are going to do some work on it, and they're going to pass it off to the next group. And then like 2 or 3 passes is when the butyrate producers can actually do their job, which is make the butyrate. And so if you lose a certain grouping of bug along the way, you could still kind of fracture that delicate ecosystem in a way where you don't get the butyrate you need every day.
Right. I always explain the fact that people think that just because they eat food, it turns into energy. But there's this chasm of like what's going on in between. You've got leaky gut, you've got assimilation issues. And like I started out with, my gut when I was at rock bottom, I was eating food and it wasn't assimilating into my body. It wasn't building muscle, it wasn't building my hair, it wasn't doing its job or giving me energy. There's that chasm. And then there's all these steps that have to all go right for your body to be able to do it itself. And we've got chronic stress, which kills the gut, right? And it does so many
Yep.
other things. It kills your thyroid and all of these other things. But then you've got the microplastics, the fluoride, the bromide, the chlorine, the GMOs, the glyphosate, then the artificial sweeteners and lack of fiber in the processed foods. 70% of the American diet is processed food. It's not real food. So we're all running around with leaky gut. Even if you don't have gut issues, you probably have leaky gut unless you're doing something about it.